Hello, it's Kate from Inkstampshare. I've been playing a lot with 3D cards lately. I really like them, fancy fold cards, things that are just a little bit different. And I thought I'd have a go at making a shutter card. Now I made one of these, I think it was probably about 2 years ago was the last time I made one, so I thought I'd have another go. And I've used the Sailing Home stamp set, which is here. I love this. It's got a whole set of dies to match that cut everything out, so it's really useful. It's great for men's card, and I thought this would make a great man's card. And I've used the papers, the designer series papers that match. So yeah, it's been really fun going back to that kind of card. And I'll open it up so you can see what it is. You take the belly band off. There you go. Just pop it off. Come on. And you open it up, and then the aperture opens out, and you get your message inside. It's really quite cute. I love a surprise card like that. So I just wanted to show you how to make it. I mean, you could really decorate it more any way that you liked, but yeah, I just thought I'd show you how to make it using this suite of products. So, okay, here we go. Now, I've got my bits and pieces all ready that I've cut out ready, and I've got a few more here too. So let me show you where we've started. It looks complicated, it's actually not at all. So, like anything, once you know how to make it, it's not so hard, is it? So let me see now. So the base of your card, the cardstock, measures 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. Now, I'm going to put all of these measurements on my blog, so you don't have to worry about writing them all down because there's lots of different bits and pieces. So miss any out or you don't catch it, don't worry, just pop over to my blog and I'll put the link down below and you'll be able to see it all there. Okay, so it's 5.5 by 8.5 inches. Okay, and then we are going to score it at 2 1/8 of an inch here on your scorer. And then I turned it over and I scored it 2 1/8 of an inch that side. So they match in the middle and you've got a gatefold card like that. So that's the base. And then I needed 2 more pieces to make the aperture. This is where the fun bit comes in. So 2 pieces here. Let me see what I've put those at. You need 2 of these. 3.5 inches by 4 inches is what you need. And I've got to make sure that I do this right. Let me just check my other one so I can see which way around you score it. It's been a long time, right? Yeah, that's right. So on the short side. Okay, so we want to find the centre of our short side. So we have to make a mark here. So that is 1 3/4 of an inch is the middle of this piece here. So I'm going to grab my trimmer and use it like a ruler. Just pop that in there. Just check that I'm doing it right. So yeah, so 1 3/4 of an inch. Just measure it there, and I'm going to put a little pen. Whoops. I'm going to put a little pen line right there so I can see what it is. I'm not going to do anything with that. That's just to measure where the centre is on your piece of card. And then I want to go down 2 inches. So I'm going to find that on my scorer, which is around 5 centimetres if you've got metric. And I can't see it. That's always the way, isn't it? So I get my head in the shot. I'll move it out of the way. Get my ruler would be a little bit easier. Let's move this one. I've got a ruler just to make life slightly easier. We're going to go down to here. That's 2 inches. So now you've found that 2-inch point. And where that is, you are going to take, you're going to cut a V shape. So we're going to go from one corner, you're going to pop it in the slot, and you're going to match this up in the middle, this pen mark that you've made, and make a cut. I'm going to cut it out. So you're going to do it like that. And then you're going to do it again on the other side. So you cut out a V, like a banner. And this is going to be how your shutter works, your aperture. That's the fiddliest part of making a card. Okay, so you've got this. And you're going to do the same on the other side. So with the short side at the top, I'm going to measure at 1 3/4 and pop a little pen mark in there. You're going to measure down to 2 inches. That's how deep we want it, which is about roughly about 5 centimeters. Let's make sure I've got that in the middle. You want it in the middle. Yeah, that's fine. And then I am going to do the same again with my cut. Just make sure you've got it centered. And then again on this one. There, I'll take it out. And there you go. So now you've got your aperture to the same. Perfect. That's what you need for your shutter. Okay, I'm going to set that aside as well. Oh, there is one more thing we need to do on this. On the other side, I need to score it. I believe I need to score it at 1/2 inch. Yeah. So, mustn't forget that. So, a 1/2 inch on this other side, on the opposite side of the V, I'm going to put a little score line at 1/2 inch because that is going to sit inside your card like so. Okay, both of those the same. Oh, it's a bit hot in this room today. Like that. So we've got those both the same. Lovely. Let's move that out of the way. Put those to the side. Now, we've got some more pieces that we need. Now, I've chosen some of the designer series papers, and I've got a few pieces here, and I'll show you what I've got. Okay. Oh dear. Right, and I've got some white cardstock as well. Now, I've wanted white cardstock because I'm going to stamp, and it's what you're going to see through the aperture. So let's see. Now, on the front of my card, I wanted some of the pretty designer series paper. So I cut a piece out and cut it in half. So when the gatefold shuts, they match. You can do them separately with scraps. It doesn't really matter, but I like that. So each one, let me see where my scribbles are. Each one is 1 7/8 of an inch here by 5 1/4 inches down. So I added these two together and I got a 3 6/8 across, 5 1/4 inches down, and I cut them in the middle at 1 7/8. Basically, each piece is 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. There we go. And they're going to go on the front of your card like this. And the reason I did them in one was, as I said, so that they would match up when they open, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Right, so that's that piece. And then I've got a piece of Whisper White. Now, I can't even remember what this is. Let me think about this. I don't know if I even wrote this one down. Right, okay, but it is the same size as the blue, and I think it's 3. Let me get my trimmer and I'll tell you. But as I say, it'll all be on my blog so you can see it. That's 3 inches. 3 inches by 5 1/2. So this white piece is 3 inches by 5 1/2. This balmy blue piece is 3 inches by 5 1/2. And then I've chosen one of these designer series papers, just a different one with the same kind of colours. And I've just left a border. So this would be 2 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, just to give that. But you'll see all those measurements, as I said, all written down. Now, what I've done in advance is I've taken one of my circle dies and I have cut a circle out of the middle. And I made it as big as I could get without it coming over the sides. So the biggest circle I could find that fitted, and I just centered it. I just made it by eye, I centered it and I cut it out like that. And that is going to be where we see through what we're going to stamp on, like this. Okay, so this is where we start to assemble our card. This is the fun part. I don't know what you can see. Can you still see all that? Yeah, so what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to glue my Whisper White piece down. My glue's getting a bit banged up. This is the bit I'm going to stamp my message on. And you just want to centre it in the middle of this centre panel of a gatefold card. So just eyeball it, make sure you've got it kind of where you want it to go. Like that. Now you can put anything you like. You could put a happy birthday, you know, whatever card you're looking for. Mine is kind of a congratulations card, which I think is great for this time of the year with kids all doing exams and getting results and things like that, especially for a boy. So I am going to do a little bit of stamping now. I've got my balmy blue ink, which matches some of this cardstock. I'm going to take this off here. Watch me get inky. I've got more blocks there. I'll just use that. That would be too sensible, wouldn't it? Right, I've got one of the little boats at the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp off on this scrappy piece of paper. And I'm just going to put a few boats. And I can just generally eyeball where this is going to go. It doesn't have to be exact. Can you see that? But somewhere in the centre, I'm going to stamp off because I just want to see it very faintly. I don't really want to see it very clearly. You're not going to see much of these boats when they're covered up. Right, so just like that, and then you can put that over the top, and you can see, you can just about see those boats, which is what I was looking for. Let's take that boat off there. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment. I'd like it's on there straight, so let's see if I can put it on the block straight. Would be useful, wouldn't it? Right, and I'm going to stamp that in a darker colour. So I stamped the boats in a light colour so that when I stamped the sentiment, you could see it over the top. It didn't overpower it. And I'm going to show it to the cards, this piece to this piece, so I can just see that I'm going to get it in the right place. Set sail in the direction of your dreams. I thought it was brilliant for somebody finishing exams or something like that. Yay, I really like it. So that's that. Now, when we put this piece on, the mechanism is going to go behind it. So we need it raised up with some sticky foam pads with some dimensionals. Now I've run out of dimensionals, so I've got some of the sticky foam strip. I'm going to use that. It does not matter. But what does matter is that you don't put anything down the sides which will obstruct the mechanism. You just want some along here and some along here. So if you have the dimensionals, just put about 3 on each end. I'm going to pop some of the strip on, like that. I've got scissors somewhere. There's a lot of different stamps in this set. It would be perfect. You could try loads of different patterns. Right, all I need to do now is stick this on. That's the hard bit done. Do like a fun fold card. I don't know whether they're called fun folds, but you know what I mean. So there you go. You can see it's raised up like that. And it's going to leave a nice gap for our mechanism to go behind. Okay, so the next bit is going to be popping this in here. Right, so I'm going to use wet glue for this. I would advise using wet glue. I have tried it, I think when I first did it, the very first time, I used a little bit of snail. It's a moving mechanism. You need something really quite strong, so tear and tape, whatever. But if you use liquid glue, it gives you a bit of movement when you're positioning this bit, which is good, because you want to get it central. Because you want to see the sentiment. And do one at a time. So, stick that down, I'll show you what I've done. So this piece here, this little narrow margin, needs to stick this side of the crease so that it pulls it over. So this side, it needs to glue down there. And when you're doing it, do one on top of the other one. So put it below it or above it, just so that they don't, you know, make sure both are, so that it doesn't catch. And you need it centered. You need them to match. So turn it round. Push that in a bit more. So like that. Let it dry. And then hopefully it should close. Should close. That one's not closing. What have I done there? Ooh, I've done something wrong with my... Is it my measurements? Did I do that wrong? Okay. It looks a bit long. Let's take that out. No, that should go through. Actually, I'm not sure, because once it's shut, it's slightly long. Maybe I did it, my measurements slightly wrong. Let's just check. Oh, goes fine. I don't know, but it's a-okay. It actually shuts perfectly. I don't know what was happening there. I just didn't have it in properly. So there you go. You can see how it opens and shuts. That's really cool, isn't it? So next thing is to decorate our card. So here's the 2 pieces of DSP that I cut. Let's just marry them up so that I've got them right. I love all the nautical theme in these. They match it all. So you've got lighthouses and anchors, and you've got compasses and all sorts in there. I think they'd be great for beach scrapbooking too. Right, pop that over there and put the other one on there. Okay. Make sure it's flat. There we are, that's better. Okay, so we've got that. Yes. And then I've cut some more pieces out. So I've got a circle. I've cut with my, I want to say, my 1.5 inch circle punch. That's a bit of the same designer series paper. And I have got a piece of white for stamping on. I've stamped out one of the little anchors and die cut it with one of the dies. Let's pop that through there. I'll show you all the dies. I've got them here, they match. So you can cut out the wheels, you can cut out this gorgeous label, of which I need to cut one out for my card. I didn't do that. Boats, there's a rope, there's a tied knot, a banner which is stitched. There is a compass wheel for the compass in the stamp set, which is amazing. There's an anchor, there's this lovely seaweed. There's more for your compass, hands, and the lighthouse, of course. So they all match all the stamps. I love that. Okay, so what else we need to do is I've cut a strip of the designer series paper too. I've cut a piece of 11 inches by 1 inch, and I'm going to wrap it round just to close it up. Marry it up like that. I'm going to put a piece of this on there. That's going to match up nicely, isn't it? Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this off, so I'm going to cover up my join quite nicely, like that, and I'm going to glue that into place. Gone a bit over with the glue, but I'm going to cover it up, so that's okay as well. But we don't need it too tight because I need to be able to get it on and off. So yeah, we don't need it too tight. I'm looking for the other belly band, see what if I can remember how I made it. I don't know what I've done with that now. Okay. Oh, here it is, I've got the card. Oh, I need the label, that's why. Right. Okay, let's leave that there to dry and let's stamp on here now. I've got the congratulations or congrats, and I'm going to use the matching ink that I've been using, which is Night of Navy. Matches the cardstock. Congrats, and I'm just going to stamp that right in the middle of my little whisper white circle. Try not to get my head in the shot. There we go. I'm going to mount that on there with a little bit more of the adhesive, double-sided adhesive. Sorry if I stop talking then. Just pop that on the front. Excellent, like that. Okay, now this is fab, this little anchor. It's got a hole in the top, and part of this suite is this lovely baker's twine, Night of Navy and Sahara Sand, and it gives it a really aged feel. So I'm just going to pop a little bit through the top of my anchor, like this. Going to cut a little bit off and tie a knot. Nothing technical. Just tie a knot. There we go, make sure all the strands are through. It's really aged feeling, I love it. Let's give it a tug. There we are, and that's going to go on the front, but I forgot to cut out my little label using this one out of the Night of Navy cardstock. So give me a second to pop that through the big shot. You'll hear it clang. Here we go. Talk amongst yourselves. Here we are. It's gorgeous. It's got this stitched relief. I don't know if you can see that around the edge there. Really nice. And these just fit on. So I'm going to glue that. And this 1.5 inch circle punch just fits perfectly inside there. It was made to fit, you'd think. I'm sure it was actually. Lovely. And I'm going to put my anchor on, and I just need a little bit of glue on the side here and a little bit on the tip there so that it sits around the congrats. And then I think I'll just get a tiny bit of double-sided foam adhesive strip and stick it on the back there to hold it up. It's really hot here today. Not as hot as it was yesterday. We're about 22 degrees, but yesterday it was like 32. It's just madness. Our weather is really weird this year. It's been miserable and cold all June, and all of a sudden it's got hot for one day. Right, okay, this is going to sit on my belly band like that. So I just need a bit of glue on there. I'm going to try and match up that blue line. Doesn't matter, but I just thought it would be fun. Pop it in the middle. Yes, I like that. Such a fun card. And then the recipient gets a little surprise when they open it and it says, set sail in the direction of your dreams. I love it. I hope you like it. I think you could use any kind of stamps and papers with this kind of card. The one I did before was daisies and flowers a couple of years ago, and that was quite nice. So experiment. Hope you like it. I hope you have a go. If you do, let me know in the comments. I love to read those. There you go. So it'll all be on my blog, all the directions. It's just probably the next day or two, I'll put the whole post on my blog with all the directions and the measurements. All the supplies are from Stampin' Up. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and you can purchase those from Stampin' Up through my online shop, and the link is below. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you do. Have a go, and happy crafting.